The title of this talk today is Silent Treatment and How Society Perpetuates Narcissism. It's a huge topic, and I have some mental notes in my mind that I want to riff on. So let's start with silent treatment. Actually, let's start with narcissism. What most people are in denial is the fact that we are all narcissists. And I'm not talking about in the loose sense, I'm talking about in the fucking hardcore NPD sense. Especially the empaths. I have always maintained on my channel that empaths are actually worse than people with NPD. They pretend to be the nice, they pretend to virtue signal, but they're the worst scum of mankind. And I'll shortly explain why. Actually, you know what? Let's dive right in. You see all these corporations, these brand names, these celebrities, they have these toy companies or publishers. They pretend to be this, oh, the cute little messages, these nice messages. Oh, give us a call. We love to hear all feedback. We get back to you. Email us, or you go to YouTube. They have for business inquiries. Email us. Oh, hit me up in Instagram or in my website. And the moment you send them, contact them, they don't fucking respond. But you might say, hey, that's their prerogative. That's their boundary, quote unquote boundary. And that's another thing I have problem with boundary. Not that I have personally issues with boundary. Yeah, I have some issues with boundary. My boundary is a little porous than most people. And that's because I am inherently an empath, quote unquote, whatever that the fuck that means. But yeah, going back to that. So why the fuck do you put your contact information then if you don't want people to, if you're not going to respond to people? See, the reason why they do it, and this is where the narcissism comes in, because we all want to gloat. We all want people to fawn over us. See, it's not because they want to hear the people they want people to. It's not only about people fawning over them. It's about the right people fawning over them. For business inquiries or whatever the brands, the corporations, they have email when they post email with the pretty little, cute little, nice, goody message. Oh, contact us. We love to hear feedback. We'll get back to you. But it's because especially the influencers, YouTube influencers, is because they want to see if they want to get their $1 million deal, if the right corporation or brand reaches out to them, so with a $1 billion $1 million contract. And that's where the narcissism comes in, because we all are self-centered. As Kanye said, we're all self-conscious, but none of us want to admit it. That may not be the exact quote. And society increasingly teaches people to be like that, teaches people to be under the quote unquote uh, guise of boundary. That teaches people to be isolated, and technology exacerbates it. This is why I don't have Facebook anymore. like like the last time when I had Facebook, I didn't have any friends. I had a lot of followers, ironically. Not a lot, of like probably 70 followers, but yeah, I deleted all my idea. I unfriended everyone, because, and this is why technology separates us, because the whole point of Facebook was, okay, you want to be friends with it, you can connect with each other. And one of the most disgusting one of the most disgusting setting of Facebook was the birthday feature, where it's like all of a sudden 365 days a year no one contacts you. All of a sudden on birthday, all of a sudden you see a heap of pile of fucking cow dung messages, all pretending to be nice. Oh, happy birthday, happy birthday. Why? So all 364 days a year, you did not reach out to me, you did not contact me, and all of a sudden, on my birthday, just because out of some responsibility and duty, quote unquote duty, moral duty, and to be nice, to pretending to be nice, the egoic mask of pretending to be nice, because of that, you reach out to me? Fuck you, motherfucker. So yeah, and that was not only reason why I unfriended everyone, and it's not their fault per se. Some, for instance, there are a lot of layers to it. For example, Facebook, like if you more like personally, I would subscribe to the news and other corporations. So I interacted with my friends list, quote unquote friends, And so obviously there, because it has to do with interaction, and because of that, because I interact with, and that's why there was less engagement from friends. But there are also some assholes who would only, who'd lurk, who watch everything you do. They're the worst of the worst. The lurkers. There's the silent. They pretend to be your friend. They add you or you add them, and they all act all chummy and cozy sometimes, like when you first add them. But then they lurk and see. They never engage, and I can give a fucking rat's ass about likes. But the point being, it's like one of the point I made. Oh, one of the I tested a Facebook post, like, oh, I'm so happy I got A in my essay, and boom, all of a sudden I see, all of a sudden, all these lurkers, these disgusting slime ball lurkers, they're giving likes on my post. So it's not, but when I put something, if you long blog, long article, some of my favorite videos, my articles, they can could care less, and it could be out of spite and jealousy, when I can give a fucking rat's ass about their about them. That's why I have no friends, and I prefer to do it that way, because personally, in my real life, I don't have friends. Why the fuck should I pretend on Facebook to have friends? So anyways, so, and all of a sudden they gave me all these engagements, just because it it's like not what I, they like, it's like, it's not about liking my post, it's about liking the post that they think that should be like worthy. So fuck them. So I unfriended everyone, and yeah, partially it has to do with the fact that the algorithm divides us, and yeah, and technology divides us. Technology exacerbates it. Like, or if they take the example of email correspondence. Like, I personally always make it a courtesy and out of etiquette to make sure that I'm ending the transaction. But some people just abruptly stops responding, and I get that you don't want to drag it on and on and on and on and on. I get that, but at the same time, this is why I personally I make it a point to note that, hey, I'm ending the conversation, or you're ending the conversation, that we're done, we're good, be happy. But some people, they don't respond. I mean, they stop, abruptly stops conversation, and I understand that you don't drag it on, but hey, it also has to do with the Gmail, the email, the technology feature. Because technology increasingly makes us, you go on in a school, first day of school, or in a dentist office, everyone's all glued to their phone. No one gonna give, no one. It's like the technology is supposed to connect us, but you go in a room, you walk into a room, either in the first day of school or in a dentist office or whatever. No one talking to each other. So how the fuck are we connected then? You fucking asshole. So yeah, going back to the email correspondence thing. So and Gmail also has all these folders. So where they can always say, "Oh, I did not receive your email because Gmail categorizes it." But some people can. I have seen a pattern for myself, and that's simply because I'm nice, and people mistakes my kindness for weakness. Where I've seen a pattern of I mean, my RAS, reticular activating system, would line up all this string of silent treatment from people, whether in Gmail, especially in email, where, and you don't know, like, either they really did not receive it, and this is where the technology comes in. Whether they really did not, or they fucking lied through their teeth that they didn't respond intentionally. And that's the thing with silent treatment. It's usually people's survivor. I mean, the people who are victims of narcissistic personalities or narcissistic abuse. They grow up, spreading the same feeling that they were subjected to. And I personally don't give silent treatment intentionally. There could be, like, I mean, obviously, if you're spamming me or like something, if you're an email or whatever, I don't respond. I mean, but that's different. But some people intentionally do it because they derive a sense of power tripping. When they stonewall someone, they derive the fucking sense of, they and the little petty little ego, they derive some sort of petty little fucking power trip, like, oh, look at me. You're not important enough for me to respond back to you. Fuck you, motherfucker. So what, just because I'm being nice to you, you think I didn't have to be nice. Just because I'm being extra polite, extra nice, as Tupac would say, you take advantage of that. Fuck you, motherfucking piece of, you fucking cow dung piece of cow piss, you fucking shit. So partially it has to do with technology, partially it has to do with people. And I have noticed that I have been under the receiving end of the stonewalling and silent treatment. So when that happened, then I realized maybe it's not those people, it's maybe me. Maybe I need to be a little more of an asshole. So and that's why sometimes, and when I stop giving less fuck, say either like you gonna transaction at a liquor store, like where instead of when they say thank you, I just don't respond and walk away. Because when I was a cashier, I saw some people do it and some people not to do it. But the point being, when I start behaving like that, the next time I come, these people, you're damn right they're straightened out, damn right they behave nicely. So it could be like universe was trying to send me a message that hey, you need to be more of an asshole instead of nice. But on the other side of the coin, yeah, and my RAS is deliberately choosing all these negative, distasteful, unpalatable communications that I had, but also, see, as an empath, I also attract more empaths too. I don't only attract narcs. I also attract empaths, and people are nice to me. People are where people are kind, and where people do end transaction nicely, and whether it be email or like on in real life, they do that. So it can have it, there are both sides to it, but in general society teaches you, oh, under the code of, I mean, yeah, boundaries are extremely important, but to what extent, where people become increasingly isolated, people becomes fucking rude and prick. For instance, take America for example. Like, you can't even say hi to kids anymore. They think you're a fucking pedophile. This is the society we have arrived at, where we're living started so much paranoia and fear, exacerbated by all this media, technology, news, Chris Hansen's disgusting show, which people that's how low we have stooped as a mankind, that we derive some disgusting pleasure watching all these pedophiles getting caught. And I'm not a big proponent of law of attraction. In fact, I'm very anti-law of anti self-help and anti-law of attraction. But um, yeah, but that has its place. Why the fuck do you fucking focus on all those things? We have a neighborhood watch, and that's good. But my point is not that these boundaries are good, or I mean the boundaries are bad, or like why do people do that. My point, what I'm trying to say, is the hypocrisy of these people. For instance, I was at the place where they had this little library, or what do you call that, little library, those the books, like in front of the house they have this little library, little free library or whatever, and where you can so I parked my car, and the owner came out and saw and became extremely suspicious, like why the hell is this guy parked there. So why the fuck do you have a little free library then in your fucking on in front of your lawn? If you don't see, that's the thing with secretly we all want attention, we and the thing is, we want people to grovel over us, that they will contact us, they'll fawn over us, they'll beg us, they'll repeatedly contact us, and we'll be the little prick fucking asshole, and we'll say no, we'll keep silent. And that's the disgusting feature that I'm pointing at, whether it be toy companies, publishers, media, newspapers, brands, celebrities, whatever. They'd say, oh, we love to hear from you, but the moment you do, that's what I'm trying to say. If you want to be a prick, fuck it, just be it, just admit it, just say, hey, don't fucking and that's why Apple, like, this Apple never listens to people, and secretly, and yeah, I do admire that, because they don't pretend to be this, oh, we're this nice guy, we're this, look, reach out to us. They're like, hey, we're gonna be prick, and that's the thing. If you're gonna be a prick, but don't pretend to be nice with a two-faced dick, where you pretend to be someone, and you act like another person. Yeah, and then there are those fucking YouTube spiritual influencers, so-called these disgusting slime balls, who say, "Oh, I'm a gratitude. I'm making a difference. I want to just help people." But the moment you reach out to them and ask for help, they're like, "Oh, it's about boundaries. It's about boundaries. My prerogative to answer." So, what the fuck do you have you putting up this image to the rest of the mankind that you're some sort of fucking saint like Mother Teresa or Jesus Christ, but secretly you're still in the lower consciousness, dual consciousness of boundaries and everything. In the non-dual world, the boundaries are dissolved, but in dual world, but at one level, you're pretending to be this saint, this Mother Teresa, Christ-like figure, who like out there helping others. But at the moment someone reaches out for your help, you pretend. you come down on the lower consciousness to the lower chakras and talk about fucking duality, boundaries, etc., whatever. So again, I'm not bashing boundaries, or I'm not, I'm not trying to sound like some salty guy who got rejected, or who got stonewalled or silent treatment for too long. What I'm trying to point out is the fucking hypocrisy that the mask the society wears, the egoic mask the society wears, the hypocritical, disgusting mask that they pretend to be one thing. They project this image, this I'm a friendly guy, blah 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 blah. And obviously celebrities can respond to everything, and or small time influencers, even YouTubers, they can respond to everything. But they said, fuck it, don't I'm not gonna respond to it, but don't pretend to be this one person where you act like this hippy dippy lovey, oh nice bubbly disgusting bubbly type of persona. But the moments you when push comes to shove, when you have to do the dirty work, you're like, oh, you back out under the excuse of boundaries and whatever. That's the hypocrisy I'm knocking. And it's with every corporations, everything. So yeah, going back to the silent treatment, stonewalling, I have found it happened to me, like so-called all these people, friends, quote unquote friends, like I'll sit next to them, they pretend like they'll be on their phone, I'll ask them a question one time, two time, three time, they pretend, and that comes from because hurt people. So somewhere down the line they receive that kind of disgusting treatment, so they're perpetuating it. And society perpetuates this kind of thing. The narcissism, the increasingly says. So yeah, going back to pedophile, why is it in America people are so scared that even if someone says like you're not allowed to touch other kids, for okay, so fine, good enough, but you can't even look at and smile and others' kids. This is how paranoid society has become, and disgust in lower. This is how the lowest consciousness we live in, where even if some stranger smiles at a kid, people become so scared. And we Americans are fucking fearful society. That's why they had to make it a point after 9/11 that we have to not to be afraid anymore. But we are the fucking fearful nation, or like after mass shooting, that we should just continue with our life. But we are a fearful fuck. That's what we are. We are paranoid. We have and again, neighborhood watch is all good, but why the fuck do you have this at one level, on at one level you have this inviting thing, oh, we're all this happy-go-lucky liberal hippy dippy virtue signaling liberal empath, but the moment someone comes to you, you're all fucking scared and shit. Why the double standard? Why the Janus faced? You're two-faced. And that's the thing, people think only people, not NPD has the ego, um but it's the empaths also have ego. Everyone has ego, and everyone is a narcissist, and everyone has the NPD at some level or another. And that's why we have such an epidemic of NPD, because we feel it feels good to vilify the NPD. We feel it feels good to be, we are the saint, we are the virtuous one, we are the heroes, and they're the villain, and it causes more and more division. So yeah, um, going back to the silent treatment. So so I think yeah, you partially, I mean not partially, yeah, the universe was trying to send me a message that you have to be more of an asshole and not to be nice, and because that's how people are straightened out. Like, stop giving fucks. Like, if you go, and if you are struggling with similar problem as I do, if you go, just make it a note, like either in email or like transaction Starbucks or whatever. When someone says thank, just walk away, because other people do it. Now obviously you can also choose not to do it and still be the kind person, and end the transaction nice in like an angelic way. But then you have to live with it, because some people will be assholes, some people won't. And here's what I struggled with. When I was a cashier, I was always ending the transaction. But when other people are cashier, I am also always ending the transaction. So maybe the problem was with me a little. Because why am I always ending? Because as a cashier, we're taught that we should always end the transaction. But when I am the customer, I never receive that kind of treatment. Not never, like many times I did not receive it. So yeah, the point being, people are rude, people are assholes. How many are really angel, like Michael Landon in Highway to Heaven? They show that I'm extremely fixated and extremely like binge, glue addicted to glue to. How many people are really like that? And the thing is, the reason why Michael Landon can get away with that angelic persona, with utmost impeccable, gentle person, is because he has all these powers and he already died and all whatnot. But most of us wouldn't have that luxury. So yeah, if you have struggled with that, just do that. Don't abruptly end a conversation, email or chat or Facebook or DM or Starbucks or liquor store or whatever. Do that and see how next time when you go, how it affects. Or even, it doesn't even have to be next time. It's like universe, God is teaching you a lesson to straighten you out, that you don't have to be too nice, you don't have to be too kind. Sometimes it's better to be a little cart and a bro. And I can be as cart and asshole as I want, and that's why I balance it out by being too nice. Because personally, I'm not a nice guy. I'm a fucking rude prick and cart. I'm very abrasive and asshole. So, and I understand that I have that dark side, and in order to compensate for that, I try to be too nice. So it's not because people think, oh, it's hard to say no, it's hard to be bad guy. No, for me, it's very easy to be an asshole. But what good does it do? It just ruins the whole day, and it just makes you bitter. And that's what the society promotes. Like you have to be, and that's very forced. If it comes naturally, fine, let it be. But if it's forced and unnatural, where you have to make an effort to be a rude guy and an asshole, that's you're just being a different person. You're just being some guru who you some positive psychology guru, hustle culture guru you saw online, and you're trying to emulate him. That's not who you are. You have to be true to your natural self. And even if you true your natural self is an empath who is always kind to other people, so be it. And sometimes you will get treated like a doormat. But I was watching a good video about how don't mistake kindness for weakness of Jocko Willing, and Jocko was saying like, yeah, in the short run, yeah, some people will abuse that, you abuse your kindness, but in the long run, it pays off. But society wants you to be like that, especially under the concept of boundary, independence, isolation, me first. Like they want you to be erect boundaries because we are increasingly a fearful nation. Whether it be children, where we're afraid that some stranger. So what good is a society if you're always fearful all the time? Where you think that everyone is a pedophile, all the strangers are pedophiles, or like if you're being nice to people, people will abuse you, or like if you don't have neighborhood watch, if you're not paranoid all the time, people will come and break in. That's not healthy either. Yeah, it's good to have boundaries, but don't make your boundaries fucking too uh, impermeable, that is so as to become aloof and isolated and callous, where your heart chakra gets closed and you develop kidney stones. Because that's one of the reasons, that's why the people develop kidney stones from a spiritual perspective. And again, this might sound like a pseudoscience and hogwash and quackery, but if you from Chinese medicine point of view, it's because you become callous, you become increasingly thick, where you've cut off your your inner your inner goodness, your inner kindness, your inner softness. And ultimately people, the meek, this meek shall inherit the earth. Yeah, because ultimately we are all love, we're all kind, we're all nice, but we get hardened because of life society. And like kids didn't have this issue concept of boundaries. Like they're naturally friendly, they want to get along with everyone. But then this then people comes and snarky smarmy comment, they say, yeah, we'll see how that works out, grow up, reality is not good. But so what, it's like Alan Watts would say, all wretch no vomit. So we're teaching kids to be increasingly like, yeah, part of growing up is to be really part of growing us to be to erect so high walls so as to completely cut off people. You become this increasingly me first selfish person, where where you the mask becomes, the veneer you wear is becomes more thicker and thicker. Really, children being born are good. Society fucks them up. Children are by nature wants to get along with everyone, are friendly, but society fucks them, and I understand why. Because some of the bad things that happens, whether gets kidnapped or whatever, and because out of fear. But that's fear driven. If your boundaries erected out of fear, that's the lowest consciousness you're dwelling in. On the other hand, if your boundary, for me, when my kundalini awakens, my third eye awakens, I feel I'm assertive very naturally. I don't have the need to make an effort. Like I can be rude as I want, I kind as I want, an asshole as I want, or as loving as I want. But on the other hand, when I'm in the lower consciousness chakra, when the lower chakras, non in the dual universe, then I have to make an effort to be assertive. So what I'm saying is, if don't force it. If you are empathic by naturally be, you have to honor your natural instincts. And that's why I don't have any routine or anything, because that's not honoring. It's like, what good is it if you want to play piano? You say, "Oh, I should be doing maths now," and if you're doing maths now, "Oh, I should have a break and playing piano." It's like nothing you do. It's like It's like self-abusive. That's self-help is self-abusive actually. It's like you do something, you say, "Oh, I should be doing something else," or if you're like spending so much time doing some one thing, "Oh, I should be doing." So it's your self abuse. You're beating yourself up. So you're self-flagellating yourself just because some fucked up guru said something on the YouTube video and you're trying to emulate him. Be thinking, "Oh, because of that, if you emulate that guy, you'll end up with hustle culture, and you'll end up with affiliate marketing, a lot of money, and make money like that." Fuck that. You cannot, no one can be like you, and you cannot be like the other person. So if you're naturally empath, you have to honor that. If you're naturally asshole, you still have to honor that. So what I'm saying is, yeah, be assertive, say no, but make sure it comes naturally. If or else it's just you'll force yourself. You'll feel unnatural, uncomfortable, and you'll be drained out and you'll burn. If you have to, like, you can't force yourself to be like James Bond or like other people, whoever your hero is. Like, for him, the assertiveness comes naturally. They didn't have to make, like Stuart Wilde would say, he would knock the affirmations culture. Stuart Wilde is a long time 80s self-help guru. Like, a lion, when it wakes up, it doesn't look in the mirror and say, "Oh, I'm a lion, I'm a lion." Lion is just is. And that's why the self-help falls flat on its face, because it forces a round peg to it forces a square peg to fit in a round hole. And it's like, it doesn't honor, it doesn't, they don't respect you for who you are. It's like they want to make you hammer and temper you into some other person that who you're not, and that's why it falls flat. Because it might work today, and this was a patch. It might work today, it might work tomorrow. In the long run, it's gonna fall apart. The wheel's gonna come off. So yeah, going back to silent treatment and stonewalling and narcissism, society increasing, we live in a fearful society where we encourage with the narcissistic tendency encourages this sort of stone, because as I said, we all want to be center of attention, we all want to be celebrity. Secretly we wish. That's why you beg for likes on YouTube videos. That's why we're like, because we all want to be like viral. We want to have, and there are some people who don't want to be just people like me. I can go, fuck it, I care less. I make videos that I enjoy. I don't have conform to anyone. I don't appease to anyone. I can give a rat's ass to algorithm or whatever, how what people want. I make videos that I want, and that's why my channel is a smorgasbord of mishmash, and I love it. And that's who I am. I don't devote it to some niche topic, because that's not who I am. So yeah, society wants you to, and it's based on it out of fear. It's not born out of love, you know. And technology exacerbates it, and all the self-help group even exacerbates it more. All the people, all so-called influencers, like, who says, "Oh, you have to be more of an asshole, or don't be too nice." No, be nice. Be nice. If it comes natural to you, so be it. Be nice. Be the Mother Teresa. Be the Jesus. Don't worry about those, because those people have their agenda. You cannot, a rabbit cannot be a scorpion, and a scorpion cannot be a rabbit. You know the whole story where a scorpion was wanted to, a rabbit wanted to give a ride, a scorpion wanted to ride on the boat, and the rabbit said, "No, you'll beat me and beat me." And sure enough, in the midway, when the boat broke, and the rabbit was drowning, and they were drowning, the scorpion bit the rabbit, and then the rabbit said, "Why did you beat me?" And the scorpion said, "Because it's my nature." So if your nature of a loving, kind person, so be it. Don't worry about what society wants you to be. So because society inherently is in lower consciousness, they come from dual perspective. On the other hand, people who are most nice and now loving, kind, or as Leo Gura would talk about spiral dynamics, green state. If you're in green state, you're of a more plural. You believe in plurality. You believe in lovingness. Be the empath. Don't ever feel ashamed of your empath ability, or like of your loving kindness, or of your meek, or not meekness, kindness, because ultimately Michelle inherited the earth. Even Jocko, who's a badass Navy SEAL, even he says that, yeah, in the long run it pays off. In the short run it might feel that if you're ultimately, me, it's not about nice or it's not about rude, it's about treating others the way you want to be treated. But the society is like, it's because of money, it's about capitalistic greed, it's about fear, it's about lower consciousness. We live in a fear, paranoia, selfishness, greed. It's about, because of that, we think we're helping others by telling people to be, oh, protect your stuff, and yeah, as the Sufi, no, the Arabs would say, tie your camel, trust in Allah, but tie your camel too. Yeah, there are reasons why we have boundaries. The reason, or else we don't want people to come and break in. But you know what? Ironically, in Saudi Arabia, when it comes to prayer, if you can be owner of a gold store, when it comes to prayer, they just leave everything and just go straight to prayer, because they do believe in the higher power. My point is not, I'm not knocking boundaries or personal space or individuality. My point is, why the fucking hypocrisy, and why you're pretending to be this sage like person now, whether it be corporations, brand name, and say, oh, and that's because that's where the narcissism comes in, because you want people to shower you with praises. You want to wake up and read notifications and whatever, and you want to have 40,000 emails all fucking bowing down to, and that's the disgusting sick part I'm exposing. That's the mask that I'm ripping off. Because it's not that they don't want people to, it's just like, some women who says, it's like an ugly person, the ugly or like whatever beta male looks at him, he goes, oh, how disgusting, what a creep. But if a Brad Pitt walks up to him, or like some Matthew McConaughey or whatever, and asks her out, then she's like, oh, and so it's not what is being done, it's like who is being done. Similarly, it's not that they don't wanna, it's not that they don't want, they want to be, it's not that they don't want to get back to the right person, or they don't want the people to contact them. It's like, or like, sorry, it's like they want, it's like, it's about what they want to hear. It's about that. Then they will get back to you. My point is, don't fucking put up your email if you're not gonna fucking get back to people, or if you don't want people contacting you. Some people get annoyed, like, I don't know, there were some famous mathematicians who got annoyed because they and had long notice on his website. But at the same time, what the fuck do you want? It's like, do you want the right people to contact you? You want the right you? So it's like you're cherry picking. You're forcing reality to conform to your demands and needs. It's not that. It's like only you wanna hear, but you can't do that. You can't do that. It's like reality is like reality. Universe can give a flying fuck rat's ass about about your needs and demands. Reality is gonna work like the way it works. For instance, this is one thing, like, like how Eminem or Joker, Heath Ledger, when you become larger than life, it's like you cannot. There's no little neat little packaged channel where you enter in YouTube portal and it's all about Eminem, or it's all about Heath Ledger Joker. They've transcended that, where it spills over to everyone because you can control it. So similarly, if you're a celebrity or famous, you can control who's gonna who's gonna come and who's gonna knock at your door. But the thing is, you're pretending to be this nice, kind person, who wants people to contact you. But the moment some other people who you don't like, or you don't want, you're not happy with their content, they contact you, then you get all miffed. So it's like you're cherry picking, you're forcing people to like, um it's like it's like when I make a video, I don't give a fuck like if I get negative comments, rude comments, or good comments, because you know what, beggars can be choosers. Not only that, but the thing is, I can't control it. But I don't want to live, and with the YouTube's increasing Disneyfication or whatever, where the thing with the censor or anything that has bad words or whatever. It's like you cannot edit reality. You cannot take the evil out. So similarly, you cannot edit what people will, you cannot choose and cherry pick and edit what people will say, and or what people will compliments will receive or criticism will receive or nasty letter will receive. That comes with the territory, and you have to suck it up and live up to it. And if you don't want people contact you, don't fucking put up your email. But don't pretend to be this guy, this corporation or brand name where you, oh, if you just found the damage control, you do this. Oh, we're so sorry. We'll just get, here's our email, and just contact us, and we love receiving feedback. And the moment someone does it, you're like, you stonewall them. You stonewall them because there's also some kind of power tripping. And I understand some people don't want to disengage with lunatics and psychos. I understand that, but at the same time, so why respond in the first place about damage control? Because yeah, that's right, your reputation is at stake. That's why you do that. Like, what was the other one I was thinking about? Oh shit, yeah, some company did that. Yeah, especially when company, like, suppose some company, I don't know, I can't put my finger, but it's like some they fuck up. They fuck up, but under damage control, the company's like, oh, we're so sorry this happened. Okay, but forget about it. So yeah, I think I've said enough, but I think I've pretty much covered everything. Let me see what I have messed up. But yeah, why and society, and that's the thing. We live in a fearful society where we encourage stonewalling, silent treatment, and that comes from narcissistic tendency of society. We enter society is narcissistic, and I'm talking about narcissism with a capital N. I'm talking about narcissism, the real NPD. And we think that there's only certain people has NPD. No, everyone has NPD because we're in the lower consciousness. How many people are actually truly actualized, or like arahat, or like liberated? Very, very few. So obviously, when you live in a society where 99.9% of the people are in fear, paranoia, obviously you're gonna have what they're gonna, it's like blind leading the blind. They're gonna talk about boundaries, fucking my individual space, blah blah blah, which are all good and whatnot. But at the same time, it just isolates people. It just separates people. And me personally, I don't want friends. Unlike having friends, I personally like being with myself. So it's not like I'm making this podcast out of desperation or need. But what bugs me is the hypocrisy and the double standard that people have. They pretend to be this Mahatma, and the moment when push comes to when it comes to doing real dirt, that's why I'm not fond of self care. Because because self care, well, sometimes you have to do the dirty work. Ramana Maharshi never talked about or taking a jacuzzi bath, or like Neem Karli Baba, or like Papaji, or those people. They never said, oh. And again, self care is important, but at the same time, self care is increasingly becoming selfish. It's about, yeah, so your caretaker, your husband, your father or mother is dying of cancer. Oh, I'm gonna splurge some money, $4,000 in Dolce Gabbana. That's gonna make me happy. Fine, go ahead and do it. But so what? So you can take care of your those loved ones. But it's not about that. It's about me first. It's about indulging myself. That's what it's all about. Ego is so deceptive. It will see the greatest trick devil pulled off is to convince the people it doesn't exist. Kaiser Soze said that. Kaiser Soze said that in Usual Suspects, right? So that's how deceptive ego will pretend to be this nice, this kind and loving, but it's like they pretend to be the flower, but there's serpent under it. And that's the society we live in. We live in a society which is hypocritical. And excuse me if I'm sounding cynical, but that's what we are. Because society is, because most of the society, just look at it. Just all you have to do is turn on the TV and see what lower consciousness people live in. We live in fear, paranoia, where we're afraid, even if someone compliments our kids, there might be some pedophile, where we shut down shutters and doors and blinds, and we live like by ourselves. And even in technology, even when we seek refuge, or we retreat in a recess of our technological world, even that makes us isolated, as the Facebook example that I said, or Google or whatever. No wonder society is so fucked up and mentally ill. And I personally was never a social person, but I do, and but as John Donne said, no man is an island, and I do appreciate that we are social creatures after all. We do need social connection, and I'm not saying this out of need or desperation or neediness or clingy, but it's just it's like in at one point level society preaches about loving, loving kindness, blah blah blah, but they don't practice it. They don't preach what is what the practice. All these millennial white chicks, they go to the yoga mat, but when it comes to doing heart, opening heart chakra, how many people serve others, how many people service actually does service. And there are obviously some really nice people who, like, when I see the caretakers of the disabled people, I'm talking about real disabled people, like, in the bus, those people are saints and angels. But many people, and that's how ego is deceptive. They pretend to be this loving, diving, nice person, we yoga mat, the opening heart chakra, but they don't talk is cheap, motherfucker. They don't practice what they preach. When it comes to, like, doing the hard dirty dishes, hard work, taking care of your parents, taking care of your elders, taking care of others, or people in need, or donating to the needy ones. So what good is boundary? How good is self-care and boundary and me first? I mean, you don't need to earn billions to help others. Even if you have $100, even if you get $5 to the homeless guy who's collecting trash, that itself is enough. So you don't need to fucking go to a spa under self-care and whatever. You don't need to elevate yourself to this pristine, imperfect, unrealistic, perfect state to help others. And that's what society has come down to, because we're fearful. We but again, I think I veered away from main topic, the style and treatment and stonewalling. But it all relates, because it all ties together, because society, the reason why there's so much epidemic of NPD and narcissism in general is because, so see, those people, those wisdom in Bible and Quran, they had some of their thing. Like, just look at coronavirus pandemic, for example. Because in Quran they say, when brother will kill brother, when son will turn against mother, when mother will turn against son. And that's what we saw. People fighting over toilet papers and whatnot. And like people, like knife, like, so sort of metaphorical knife, jutting, I mean, not jutting, jamming a knife into each other's throat, just because of selfish needs. And that's what we're increasingly, that although it's not palpable, it is still underneath everything. It's still, we're like that. And fuck 5D, fuck ascension. I don't think people are as mankind is evolving, we're being nicer and friendlier. One could also argue that we're also become devolving. We're becoming increasingly selfish. We're increasingly approaching an apocalyptic world where it's all about selfishness and greed and narcissism and me first. It's not about kindness and loving others, helping the needy and the oppressed. It's not about that. And that's what I meant by silent treatment and stonewalling. What good is personal boundaries and individuality and self-care and self-routine and self-respect if you're not friendly with others? And by friendly, I'm not being lovey-dovey kumbaya. I'm very friendly, be treating others the way you like to be treated. Being there for some people. Being, calling people up to say, ask them how they are. And I hate it in our country, Bangladesh, where people are too nosy about it. But in America, it's like complete opposite. The good side is you're left in peace, and I love that. I love one of my peace. But at the same time, it's like, hey, especially in Japan, like, old people dies, no one even knows for 10 days, is like for a week, that some guy died in their house, because neighbors don't care about neighbors. Well, we don't have neighbors don't care about neighbors, but we have a neighborhood watch sign. And again, but people say, but again, I'm repeating myself. So what good is neighborhood watch sign if, if it's born out of paranoia and fear? That's not healthy either. See, the way God intended to live, it was a hippie communal in the beginning. There were free land, the forest, there was no deforestation, everything was free for all, there were natural resources, but the greed of mankind, the corporation, capitalism, and again, I'm not bashing capitalism, capitalism has its place, but it's this mankind is, that's why increasingly we set up boundaries. But back in the when the caveman days, there were no, like, people would laugh if you go to San Bushman or Kosha tribe. They'll laugh if you bring your fucking dumb Western concept and talk to them about boundaries, personal space, and all this bullshit. And that's the ethnocentrism of America, and Nasirama attitude, where we think that as if American values apply Western values apply everywhere. And that stems from arrogance. Like it's our ideals are the best. And yeah, Paul Joseph Watson would think that, but he's a moron. I used to like some of his ideas, but when they say Western cultures are superior to other, that's just plain cloaked xenophobia and even low-key racism. So yeah, so going back to the stonewalling and silent treatment. So um so I've seen increasing. I mean, part of me wants to say is like, yeah, there has been a string increasing, like RAS, reticular activity system in the brain is focusing increasing on on the things that I received the stonewalling, but at the same time, I've received like a lot of kindness and compassion and people who go out of their way to help me and whatnot. For instance, yesterday I saw a video that the fastest ambulance save, where this bicycle guy fell, and the ambulance was driving by in the intersection and immediately came to his rescue in like 3 seconds. So the ambulance, what would happen? So, no, it's not our boundary, it's not our personal space. We have to, we have to consult our boss and ask. No, fucking when shit hits the fan, you do what is necessary. It's not all about boundaries and whatnot. It's about helping people. It's about, and for that you don't need to be this self-actualized person, a multi-billionaire to help out you. Even saying a polite kind thing, or see, if in America you can be, a person can be dying on the street and writhing and whatnot, people will walk by and will not say anything. Some people will be crying and whatnot. It's not my business, it's not my business. And obviously God teaches them the hard way, teaches the lesson the hard way. Okay, what would happen if you were in that position? So yeah, but what good is personal boundary and a self care and self routine, all this bullshit and silent treatment and stonewalling and all that? If you don't help your fellow human being who's right in front of you, you don't need to be this multi billionaire to like elevate yourself so that you can finally give others. They say, "I fear the guy." African proverb. They use this African proverb. I fear the man who offers his coat, the naked man who offers his coat. Yeah, but that's just those are just fucking semantics, bro. In real life, you don't need to, and that's how God made you. You're enough. You don't need to have so much to give others. You can have nothing and still offer everything. And I will end it on that note. Thank you for listening.